Okay, so first let's just select our camera and then we can just disable the background image. And now we can move over to the rendered view tab. Let's press Shift A and add in a simple sun lamp. You can just press R then X, then R then Z and rotate it up on different axes to get like a little bit better lighting. We can also go into the object data properties of the sun lamp and just increase the angle over here, which will basically make the shadows a lot softer. Like basically at 0 angle, you will see the shadows are really harsh. But I think for this type of stylized anime style of scene, I will be going for like softer shadows. Also, I will just switch over to cycles and select GPU. You can also render it with EV as well, but I will be using cycles to get like a little bit better lighting. And yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Next, what I will be doing is adding the cloud background. So press Shift A and go into image, mesh plane, and now just select this cloud background too. I have added this within the files that I've provided for this video, so you can follow it along. Just use this one and maybe just rotate it up a bit, rotate it like this. Make sure to move it quite far back and now scale it up. Now you might notice that it looks a bit weird and kind of like washed out. So let's go into the shader properties over here and we can select this, go into object, and instead of plugging this into the principled BSDF, we can directly plug this into the surface. This way it looks a lot more brighter. Next, what I will do is I will go over here in the render properties and change the color management from AGX to standard. I think the standard color space works a lot better for these type of scenes. So yeah, I will be going with that. You can also increase the look to medium high contrast. And yeah, that's pretty good. And now I think the overall lighting of the scene is a little bit flatter compared to the like background itself. So you can go into the world shader type now and let's press Shift A and add in an environment texture. So yeah, we will be using an HDRI to make our scene look a lot more brighter and get some like natural colors. You can use any HDRI you want to, it does not really matter because it is not even going to be visible. So yeah, I'll just select one of mine. I'll select this one and already you can see the colors look a lot better. Alright, so now you might notice that because of the HDRI added, we do get like a lot of this green color added below our bridge. And if you look in the original reference image, it is like pretty dark over here. So what we can do to fix this is, the reason this is happening is because there is like no ground in our scene. So you can just select your stairs, press Shift plus S cursor to select it, press Shift A, add a simple plane and just increase the size of it. And now even though this ground won't be really visible in our scene or in our camera, you can see the effect it adds. Just select the ground itself and now press H to hide it. You can see we get all of this like green color due to the HDRI bleeding onto our models, which does not really look that good. So press Alt plus H to bring your ground back. And yeah, this looks a lot better. Alright, next what we will do is we can also add like these trees. So press Shift A and once again go to image, mesh plane, and I have added these trees as well in the link in description, so you can download that and get these textures. So let's just place these trees and I think they look pretty good. I'll just place them right over here according to the reference image itself. So maybe somewhere around here. Just increase the size of it a bit. Let's bring it close to the camera. You can also go over here and enable render region. Basically this will help you to only show you the region that will be rendered itself and none of the like extra stuff, so that you can only focus on the render itself. All right, that's pretty good. Let's just duplicate this and move it back and place it somewhere around here. Yeah, that's good. Scene is starting to come along nicely. Next, what we will do is obviously add a small bit of outlines. So you can press Shift A, go to grease pencil and just select scene line art, and instantly you will see all of these like outlines appearing. So now go into the modifier section of this, increase the line thickness, and we get something like this. Now this is a bit too much. So first let's try to fix this. Select your line art object and you can first go into the edge types and disable crease threshold. And this will instantly remove like all of these extra outlines. And obviously we need to decrease the thickness. We don't want it that much. I think somewhere around here is pretty good. Next issue that you might notice is that like all these images are also getting this like faint outline. So there is a simple fix for this. Just select them, go over here in the object properties, scroll down under the line art section. You can just change the usage from inherit to exclude. As soon as you do that, you can see no more outlines for this tree. Select this tree as well and go over here and just select exclude. All right, much better. Now we can just come over to our render properties, make sure denoise is enabled, and just set the samples to a small number for now, like 100. Press F12 and let's see quickly how our render looks. All right, so this is what our render looks right now. I think I'm pretty happy with how everything is turning out. Next step is to basically add some materials and also just add a bit of compositing for like the finishing touches. All right, with that, let's just close this and start working on the materials itself. First, I will just select my line art object, go into the modifiers and turn it off in the viewport because sometimes it can make it like really laggy. So just make sure to turn it off. And now we can select our stairs. Let's go into the object shader type, click on new, and let's rename this material to stairs. All right, let's change the color to something random for now. And now I basically want this like material to be copied to the rest of the objects. So select them all, this one. And now at last you can select the stairs themselves. Press Ctrl plus L and link materials. And this way you can like copy the material to everything. All right. So now the material itself is going to be like really simple. What I will do is just press Shift A, add in an ambient occlusion node. And basically if I plug this node in, you can control like this shadows. So it will be like a nice addition to the material. Press Shift A, add in a mix color node. Plug this in to the base color and you can plug this into the factor. And now you can change the B color, I think. Yeah, change the B to something like gray or beige, something like this. Maybe somewhere around here. And now we can just make the A color a lot more darker, which will basically be the shadows. And now you can control this from the distance value. Maybe somewhere around here. I think I will make it a little bit less saturated. Somewhere around here probably. Yeah, I think that is fine for the material. Select this one now. Again, click on new. Let's rename this to railings. And again, this can be like some type of green for now. Now just select all of the other railings. And now select this one at last. Press Ctrl plus L. Link materials. Let's change the color of them. Obviously, I will make it a lot less saturated, a bit more brighter. I think something like this would look pretty good. Now we can select all of the cables. I'll probably just press Ctrl J and join them into a single object. Click on new, again create a new material, rename this to cables. And these can be basically just black color. Nothing really too much. We can also adjust now the thickness of them at the same time. Let's play around with this later on. First select our pillar now, click on new, rename this to metal maybe. Just give it like one metallic for now. Again copy it to all the other objects. Select them all. Now select the pillar at last, press Ctrl plus L and link materials. Again for this one as well, I will press Shift A, add in an ambient occlusion node. We can just select the stairs, select this simple setup, press Ctrl C to copy and paste it right over here. Now plug this into the base color. Let's reduce the distance. I'll just set this to 0 completely. Now we can increase the roughness somewhere around here. Yeah, I think something like that is pretty good. Yeah, with that, I'm pretty happy with the materials. Let's press F11 to view our like render. Press J, and now you can press F12. Basically, this way you can render both of them at the same time in different slots so that we can kind of compare them to. Let's wait for the render to finish. And yeah, now the render is done. You can press J to compare between the two. And I think I'm liking how the render is looking. One thing that I'm noticing is there are like not really any outlines on the pillar itself. That's why it looks a little bit weird. So don't worry, we can fix that. Let's just go back into solid shading, and first I will select my camera once again and enable back the background images. So what we need to do is we basically need to place this pillar close to the camera, and then the outlines will start to appear. So just select it all, press 7 for top view, and just place it right over here next to the camera itself. Scale it down. Now we can once again just match it with the reference image. Yeah, I think that is pretty good. Let's press F11 once again. Now you can press J and press F12 to give a new render so that we can compare the newer and the older one. It's a tad bit bigger than the earlier one, but it's fine. And yeah, you can see the outlines work a lot better now because it is closer to the camera. The outlines are appearing. With that, I think I'm pretty happy with the scene. Overall, we are now done. Now we need to work on compositing to give our scene those final touches. I'll just close this. One other thing that I want to do is, if you can once again see, the bottom part of the bridge is like pretty dark. So we can also do that as well. First, let's select our bridge, press tab, press Ctrl R, and use your scroll wheel to add two edge loops. Hit right click and add them in the center. I will just select this bottom face, and you can go over here and select extrude manifold and just extrude it inwards to create like this type of structure. And after we have done that, basically what I will do is, let's come back to our rendered view mode. Let's just hide the ground for now. Select this, press tab, select all of the bottom faces. So select this, select this, select this one, and these over here as well. Come over in the material section, click on this plus icon, and you can create a new material and just hit assign. Basically now this bottom part has like a separate material, and you can give it like a darker color like this. So I think this way we can much better control this bottom part. So we'll just make it like a tad bit darker like this. Now press Alt plus H to bring back your ground. Let's hit save, and I will just finally give it one last render. So press F12 so that we can render it one last time and then start with the compositing.